This is MotoGeo and we're testing the new Multistrada Pikes Peak.
The Pikes Peak edition of the Multistrada is always aimed at being the sportiest of the range, and the reason is behind the famous Pikes Peak hill climb race meeting, a race that Ducati have won many times since 2008. Now, this is not just any race. It's a race to the summit of a 14,000-foot mountain and consists of 156 corners as it twists its way through the trees at the start and ends at the snow-capped rocky summit over 12 miles later. Now, this highly demanding race in Colorado is also something that I participated in on the old version of the Multistrada in 2015. Back then, I packed my bags on the Multistrada and rode from Los Angeles to Colorado, experiencing all of the Multistrada's capabilities as a touring bike along my journey, and then raced up the mountain at the end to test its more sportier side. And one thing I can tell you about my own experience is that it takes one heck of a motorcycle to do all of those things, and the Multistrada does them all exceptionally well. Well, these days the engine is the more powerful and reliable V4, and for 2022 the Ducati factory have designed the sportiest Multistrada to date, the new Pikes Peak edition, which I was lucky enough to test out in Palm Springs recently and bring you the lowdown.
So what do we have here from Ducati? Well, the sportiest Multistrada ever. Right here we have 17-inch wheels on the front of this bike, and that's where the magic is. So that this bike now, from the V4S, which has the 19-inch front, we've got a small front wheel, so the bike now starts to steer really quickly. They've adjusted the rake, it's not too unstable at high speeds, but what you've got now from this Multistrada is a real sporty motorcycle. The rear, look how sexy the back of this motorcycle is. We've got the single-sided swinging arm back. Looks absolutely gorgeous, but also they can fit the 190 rear tyre. There's more compounds, there's sportier rubber, so you've got something right away that steers at the front much quicker, and you've got some real sticky rubber at the back. Also, with that single-sided swinging arm, it's a little longer, and that also gives you some more stability through the corners. The Multistrada is a great multi-tool machine. I love the V4S. I've ridden it all over through Mexico, I've ridden it off-road, on-road, but where this bike comes in is it's really leaning more towards keeping everything on the tarmac. With the V4S, you've got a 19-inch front wheel, so you can take her off-road. You're not going to really be doing this here with a 17-inch. This is really more kind of like road-orientated and almost like a track-orientated bike, because they've put Panigale front brake calipers, pads, discs on this motorcycle. This thing stops in a nanosecond. One finger, I wasn't even using two fingers on the brake today, just one finger stopping power, and the thing stops on a dime. Awesome. From the engine, with the V4 is the awesome service. 36,000 miles now before you even need to take it in for a service. That was unheard of a decade ago from Ducati. 36,000 miles, so that's pretty damn awesome. It's a great adventure bike. This engine also provides you with the real Ducati kind of like heart. It's also got the old V-twin kind of torque, but with that V4 kind of rev range too, so it's a really great engine. I'd say it's lost a little bit of its character compared to the old V-twin L-shape in terms of like the torque that it used to provide and the sound, but what you get from this engine is a greater rev range. You've got really smooth power, and you've just got power at tap. Also from the V4 engine, same in the V4S, same in all of the Multistradas, but it's got a counter-rotating crankshaft. Now that has come from the MotoGP technology. It helps keep the front wheel on the ground, helps you put the power to the floor. So if 170 horsepower is not quite enough for you, then fit the full race system, which bumps it up another 10 horsepower. So you've got even more power here from this awesome Multistrada. Now also with the Multistrada, you've got a bunch of different riding modes. We've got urban, touring, sport and race. This year is the first time they brought in the race mode. Very easy for you to just toggle through and select a map, select a style of riding that you want. So urban caps off the horsepower, brings down the curve, so it's very, very rideable, easy in traffic. Touring mode, gorgeous. A really great mode for me that just allows you to just roll on the power. It's great. Get into the sport mode, then that's when you're going to hit the throttle and get instant response. Now with race mode, it's even better. This is a motorcycle now that you can turn up to a track day with your bags, take your bags off and go on track, because it is really sporty. They've lifted the pegs up, they've moved them back, they've dropped the bars down, they've brought them in. All of the things that you need to really lean a bike over. So this thing now loves corners more than ever. What's really amazing about this motorcycle is being able to go through the modes, select your own suspension settings, your own brake settings, your own ABS, your own wheelie control. There's so many electronic packages on this motorcycle and they really work. They've taken a lot from the Panigale V4S. Front brake master cylinders, rotors, brakes, they're frigging awesome. It's a special brake on the Panigale, so now it's on the Multistrada, it's a serious front braking system here. You've got some creature comforts as well that come on this bike, heated seats, heated grips, these are all accessories, and I would say you definitely need them. A bike like this, it's the all singing, all dancing adventure bike. Some really interesting electronics. It's still the same as on the V4S, but the radar control. It works basically on a radar system, so you can set it so that from far to near, it detects the traffic. So if the traffic's slowing down, it slows the bike down too. When the traffic picks up, you pick up. You've also got some lights here with the blind spot detector, so that really helps you. Just giving you all of these kind of like little elements of riding a motorcycle, it just takes a little bit of worry out of it. So the blind spot detector is really a great feature. Suspension wise, well, we've got something pretty special here from Öhlins because it's the latest system. This system has not been on any other Multistrada before. It's fully electronic. You can just flick through the settings just really with a button here and it works instantly. I went from testing the softest to the hardest today and it really, really works. You can really feel the difference. You can change the ABS, you can change the wheelie control, you can have your own settings. Every time I've opened the throttle on this bike, it's put a smile on my face. It's a great package. It's almost like too good to be true. 30 grand, okay, it's a lot of money for a motorcycle, but when you think about what you can get in exchange for that, it's not a lot of money. It's a great motorcycle. If you're into sport, you're into adventure, you like power, is there a better motorcycle? I'm not so sure. This is the real deal. Pikes Peak Multistrada. Awesome bike from Ducati, great engine, great chassis, and a joy to ride.
Heck, if the Pikes Peak motorcycle race was still going, I'd definitely consider heading back on this machine, as it's fast and lots of fun.